Hello and welcome to part two of the YouTube video overview. In part one, we started off with an introduction that got really lengthy, talking about an introduction to YouTube, some of the big figures and numbers, YouTube as a search engine, talking about marketing overview for YouTube and the algorithm and optimizing videos. In this video, we're going to go more into the content strategy and the advertising, which hopefully is not as long. I know this is becoming a theme. Most people that are watching my videos here, walking through these chapters. They'll say, oh, yeah, he starts saying it's only going to be 10 or 15 minutes and it ends up being 30 minutes. Well, I am sorry about that. That's all I can say, really. So let's dig in further to the content strategy. And today I want to talk about YouTube Live to start with. YouTube Live is a way to go live, essentially, kind of like you can do on many other social media platforms. And when you go live on YouTube, YouTube on its own is pretty limiting in what you can do. Unfortunately, and you can watch this guy's video, it's pretty interesting because he talks about effectively live streaming. By the default settings for YouTube Live, you can do it just from your computer or whatever has a camera. All you can do is talk and show yourself. You can't really share your screen. You can't have other people. You do need a third party platform for that. Programs like StreamYard are really helpful for that, where you can connect your YouTube Live account over to your StreamYard account. It's pretty easy to do. There's some quick tutorials online, perhaps a YouTube video. And at that point, you have a lot more options. And if you do ever go live, you do need to verify your account, a couple other things to make sure that you are legit. They don't want spam and crap out there. But follow their guidelines and everything, and you can go live pretty quickly. Amassing followers and viewers is a little bit different story. Um, Live is fun if you have all the right equipment for it, but you do need a strategy behind it. And the other idea, and I think this guy talks about it a little bit, if you go live on YouTube, you need to expect people to just come by and watch for a few minutes at a time. Very much similar with other social media videos, and that live video, if you are such say a talking head, like if I went live doing this for an hour, I need to prepare to essentially be like a radio show host where I am talking in very short segments and I am talking about a wide array of content. And the topics are such that somebody can pick it up pretty quickly within moments of joining. If somebody hops into a live video and finds out that they're in the middle of like this long, drawn out story, they're going to quickly leave. People want to be able to hop into a live video or any sort of other live stream and be able to be brought up to speed fast. Sometimes that's a Q&A segment. Sometimes that's doing like a product overview. Something that's really popular is actually like cooking stuff live, like doing demonstrations where, yeah, you are technically coming in the middle of a story, but if you can see what it is that's happening, you can also better follow along and quickly catch up to what's happening. This is very common on TikTok. A lot of guys and women and all individuals, all people that are popular with TikTok, cooking talk, if you will. Um, a lot of times they'll go live and make food and create recipes, and based on what they do, like they know that people can jump in, use context clues to catch up pretty fast and be part of it. Now YouTube Shorts. I've tested this in conjunction with TikTok. I am not a fan of YouTube Shorts. I actually had a LinkedIn post months ago about what happened. So I did a YouTube short every day for a few weeks, and I did the same thing with TikTok. With YouTube Shorts, I did get two videos that amassed over 100 views and half a dozen likes or something. They all look like this. They're nice. But then I went on to TikTok and did the same thing, and would on average get over 1,000 views and many more likes. Not a ton of likes. I will say the engagement rate for TikTok was a lot lower, but the potential was there. My content was appearing in a lot more spots. And while I did have more followers on TikTok, it was a very different type of content. And I know that my content was not being seen by my followers because um, my followers were, it was a completely different set of material that I was posting. So um, I personally am not a fan of YouTube Shorts. YouTube likes to tell people and promote that their shorts get consumed by billions or whatever. They're getting a billion views. I don't buy that for a second, and I don't think it's a viable strategy right now. You're better off on TikTok. Save YouTube for the real YouTube content. Make sure to use YouTube for the stuff that is in like that people the reasons that people go to YouTube in the first place that we talked about in the last video. You shouldn't be putting a TikTok strategy on YouTube. You should be putting a YouTube strategy on YouTube. Now, how do you keep people engaged? Keep videos short and concise. Of course, that's going to be a theme everywhere. Don't do a big lengthy introduction. Absolutely. Explain the benefits. Yes. You want to catch people's attention as fast as possible. And be sure to speak concisely and to not go into too much of a tangent. Don't do what I'm doing here. And what I'm doing is more educational and more because the student, have to, not because I'm just trying to get followers and get views and just get a lot of viewing time. If I was doing that, these videos would look a lot different and they wouldn't be so educational, which I hope they are. It's fun to split longer videos into multiple short videos. A lot of times you'll watch videos where like, today we're going to start talking about putting insulation into a wall. And then it's like the person will set up the wall and then it's all framed. And then they'll say, now come back for part 2, where we're going to actually put the insulation in the wall. Where now, okay, you're going to go over to video number 2 and you're going to watch it there. And that way they're getting a lot more view time, a lot more greater percentage of time being viewed. But then they're also getting more actual views. Okay, they got a view on part 1 and then they got a view on part 2. That's 2 new views. And the first one was probably viewed 95% of the way through. The second one is probably viewed a good amount too. So that helps the creators' algorithm in terms of how they're appearing and how their account is looking in the eyes of YouTube and Google. Finally, the engagement factor. This is the social media side. Respond to questions and comments quickly. That's if you're live. But also in the comments section. That is important. So the comment section of YouTube is it's a hellhole, to be perfectly honest. There can be a lot of weird stuff going on there. But as the creator of videos, it is important for you to be able to sift through the spam and to respond to those that are good and are valuable. And you think, oh, yes, I should address this. So that's a good thing to consider. Finally, you should collaborate with others, try to create some community and to share feedback and give shout outs to other creators. That's just a good way to expand your reach and to collaborate. They use that verb there, collaborate, in the chapter. Collaboration is a great way to just reach a whole new audience that previously wouldn't have known who you are. And then also there's the idea that if another creator co-signs what you're saying and gives you a shout out, that creator is inherently being trusted is trusted by all of their followers, so that if they say, hey, you should go give this person a follow, they're a lot more likely to do that than, say, if you were to put out an ad that's seen by 50 times as many people that just promotes who you are. So the collaboration stuff is important. YouTube playlists, fine. There's not much to it. I haven't seen anything so great about it. If anything, it's a really good internal organization tool where it helps you, the person. But that also assumes that people are like going to watch all of these videos all the way through, which is it's assuming a lot. It's a jump. Engagement with influencers. We're going to talk more about influencers in the TikTok chapter. Dude Perfect here is this is a group of guys that try all these trick shots and do all these goofy things with various sports, and they like to do it with a lot of different influencers. It's kind of interesting. I watch some of their stuff. They've done some pretty incredible things. God knows how many times they had to practice things like this, but yeah. Finally, YouTube analytics are really important. I'm just going to leave this video for you to watch because this explains it better than I ever can. it talks about view time, looking at how much people are engaging, how is your search performance, what's the engagement rate, things like that. As as well as I understand Google Analytics, this video does it just better. So take a look at that, and just know that, looking when thinking about Google Analytics, there will be something out of this um, to be seen in the future. Now, finally, we have YouTube advertising. The last section here, we're going to jump all the way down to the targeting. Targeting is very similar to what you see in other social media sites. And if you've ever done Google advertising, also similar here. You have your basics, your demographics, your affinity segments, your lifestyles, habits, stuff like that. Life events, if they can, they somehow have a way to tell if you were recently married, if you recently bought a house based on your search history and elements like that. And then also think about custom intent segments, which is really interesting because the best thing about YouTube advertising is that you have access to Google's history about you. So that's where you can look at search history and all that fun stuff there. These other ones are okay. You're not going to need to know all of these. These aren't, this is more on an as needed basis. Ad objectives, there are 3 of them. And interestingly enough, they are fairly similar to the ADA funnel. In that awareness, you just want to reach people for the first time. Consideration, you want people to move into that interest or desire stage. And then action, it's time to convert them, whether that's a purchase or a subscription or something else. There's a ton of different types of ads. There's ads that you can skip, ads that you can't skip. The video ads that pop up halfway through a video that are annoying, things that are played before or after, outstream ads, which are ads that are played on the audience network, so on other websites where Google and YouTube work with. And I mean, they just keep going and going. I don't think that those are necessary to fully describe. YouTube bidding works very similar to Google Ads, where you will pay on a cost per view basis. So you're going to pay, maybe 6 cents per view. But at the same time, YouTube wants you to pay at a daily rate. So if you say, all right, I'll pay $50 a day, and I'm going to set my cost per view at, say, 50 cents. I personally would recommend just going with what YouTube recommends. A lot of times I will just set a daily budget, and there's a way to set up automatic bidding because you don't have any idea what your competitors are paying for. And so if you set it up, I mean, the best part about YouTube advertising, Google advertising is, they'll make sure that your content gets delivered. Their number one goal with advertising is they want you to keep spending money. So they're not going to, or they shouldn't, be like putting your ads at the bottom where nobody sees them or nobody converts. They want you to get conversions. If you don't get conversions, they know that you probably will not keep spending with them. So at some point, they're going to give you some sort of preferential placement so that you can get some sort of traffic through the analytics. Now, I understand that there have been some legality issues with specifically Facebook advertising in the truthfulness and misleading of their video views, but you're kind of stuck with what you have here. It's, you can question their motives all you want, but you're kind of stuck. There's no alternative here. YouTube/Google video ads are going to be the largest platform that you possibly could have in the world. And this is the place to get the most people to see your stuff. Google Ads reporting is where you would look at your YouTube ad measurements. In terms of a social media course, I will say YouTube ads are probably the lowest priority for me because it is more important to see more traditional social media advertising instead. So for a deeper look at YouTube ad reporting, please take a look at this link here. They go into good detail. Again, it's similar to regular YouTube advertising. So, when you're up here at the content strategy, a lot of the elements that are mentioned here in this video here in analytics are also shown in the ads. It's just that there's a monetary component introduced. So that does wrap up the second part of the YouTube video. I know that was a lot, but YouTube is a massive site. And while it doesn't look like a social media platform on the surface, it definitely is underneath. So thank you for viewing here today. And the next video I'll be doing is on marketing with TikTok. And hopefully I'll be able to do that in one video.